Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF in Europe. This is the third of 3 training tapes dealing with substitution. Today we're looking at the entire process. How do we handle the mechanics of this process and make sure that everything goes on the way it's supposed to. So we'll look at movement, signals, mechanics in general. But before we get there, let's make sure to see what the MOFO has to say and how that can help us on the field.
In the rulebook, we go to Rule 352, Legal Substitutions, and E says, when Team A sends in its substitutes, the officials will not allow the ball to be snapped until Team B has been given an opportunity to substitute. While in the process of substitution or simulated substitution, Team A is prohibited from rushing quickly to the line of scrimmage with the obvious attempt of creating a defensive disadvantage. If the ball is ready for play, the game officials will not permit the ball to be snapped until Team B has placed substitutes in position and replaced players have left the field of play. Team B must react promptly with its substitutes. In the MOFO, Section 3.4 non-contact fouls and 1D says, if Team A makes last-second substitutions, i.e. rushing to the line of scrimmage while in the process of substituting, Team B must be given an opportunity to match up. If the play clock expires prior to the snap, the officials must determine whether Team B was given ample opportunity to react to the rushed substitution. And it goes on to say, if Team B reacted promptly, but the play clock expired, Team A will be assessed a delay of game foul. If Team B delayed in their substitution, then Team B will be assessed a delay of game foul. And finally, E says, if Team A snaps the ball in a situation where they have been asked not to, for example, while Team B are being allowed to make matching substitutions, for first offense, shut down the play and issue a warning, penalized for delay of game on the second and subsequent instance. And that was the theory. Now let's have a look at some practical situations in some game film. Looking at the substitution process here, we need to know, as referee, umpire, center judge, we need to know that there are only 10 players in this formation. And even if we didn't count yet, the entire team is indicating that they need one more player. So whenever we have a situation with only 10 players in the formation, either one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to snap the ball with 10 players, which is unlikely, or A13 here is going to come in late, in which case we have to be ready to move up and cover the ball. Whether this is the umpire or in this case it should be the center judge coming up, we need to be ready for it. So right now we need to be not necessarily shutting this down, but at least coming up, giving the defense an opportunity to match substitutions, and none of that happens here. Compare this to the next play. So compared to the previous play, or similar to the previous play, we also have here a situation where Team A has 10 players in formation. Eventually, you'll notice how the referee and the umpire, here we go, they signal 10 players in the formation, which also means that we now know that when number 11 comes onto the field, here comes the receiver, the umpire already is ready for the referee to go into his substitution mechanic, and here we go to cover the ball, and now we go 1, 2, around 3 seconds to count the defense or count the offense, make sure they have 11, which also is the amount of time the defense has to start their substitution before the referee releases the umpire, but that is so late that the quarterback has to call timeout. Now, if the play clock runs out during this is going to be a delay of game on the offense. Here, it ends up costing them a timeout because they were too late with their substitutions, but good focus on the mechanics by this crew. This situation is very similar to the previous one. Again, we've got the crew being aware that the offense is only 10 players and aware that once the 11th player comes in, you see him coming in at the top of the screen. The center judge is already moving, and here goes the referee with his signal, and we cover the snap. We prevent the snap to give Team B an opportunity to match up, which they don't take that opportunity, which is also perfectly fine. And then after a few seconds, we release the ball again, and Team A can go ahead and snap the ball. So also here, very well handled by this crew. With this example, we can answer the question about what do we do as referee with substitutions and Team A is in a huddle. So the recommendation is to go ahead and use the signal regardless, whether Team A is in a huddle or not, just to get into the habit of every time Team A substitutes, use the signal. And as a referee, you really only have to have your focus towards one sideline, because the offensive team's sideline is where your focus should be. And once they substitute, you should come out with the signals, which this referee does very well here. So as for a center judge or an umpire, do you need to go all the way up to cover the ball? Well, if you want to and you want the extra exercise, you're more than welcome to do so. You are also welcome to kind of hover halfway there, as long as you are in control of the situation, as long as you can get to the ball and prevent the snap if the offensive team should break the huddle quickly and get to the ball while the referee is still in his signal, while we're still using this mechanic. So you're welcome to go to the ball. You're also welcome to go halfway, as long as you're aware of the situation and in control of it, so that you can do what you need to do should the need arise. But again, for a referee, as soon as you see substitutions, huddle or no huddle, the recommendation is that you do use the mechanic, so that we use it consistently and we never forget to use it. We're now moving to a different aspect of controlling the substitution process, and that is not leaving the ball unattended. Here the umpire leaves the ball here, but it hasn't been blown ready yet. So theoretically, Team A could snap the ball right now, and that would be a delay of game on offense because we allowed it. And it's not until now that the ball is blown ready. So for a long period here, we run the risk of the ball being snapped prematurely, and we have to do a better job of shortening that period. Here's another example where we could have done a better job of covering the ball. So the center judge leaves the ball while the referee is doing his signals. Luckily, the umpire is awake to the situation and gets up, and we get the ball covered. But now both of them leave the ball again, and the referee is not ready yet. So once again, we have to come up and cover the ball again. So really, it's just a matter of making sure that we stay on the ball, and we do a better job of covering it until the referee says that we are ready for the snap. And here's a good example that really it is a crew responsibility. So we notice up top the linesman leaves the line of scrimmage. So clearly we're not ready. So the referee could very easily go into his iron cross mechanic here, and in any case, the umpire, or it could be a center judge, can easily take charge of this and just stay over the ball. Here he leaves the ball even though we haven't had a ready for play, and actually, the offense is very close to snapping the ball here. They could easily have done that, but for some reason they don't, which saves us, because as a matter of fact, as you'll see from the referee, he doesn't blow the ball in until now. So really, we were very lucky not to get into trouble here, which we're not that lucky on this next play. As advertised, here's the situation that doesn't just almost go bad. This really ends up in a foobar situation. See, the referee is writing on his card, but the center judge leaves the ball. So right now the ball is free. Teammate snaps the ball, but we still don't have a ready for play. So we actually here end up in a situation where we call a defensive a delay of game on the offense, and it's completely our fault because we left the ball alone and let teammate snap it before it was ready. So again, for a center judge, you are more than welcome to take charge of this situation, and note that the referee is not ready. He's writing on his card, so just stay on the ball. You don't have to have a signal from the referee to be on the ball if you can see that it makes more sense to stay on the ball. That being said, once we have this situation, I would be perfectly fine with instead of having a delay of game because it's our fault, just to have a do-over and go on the mic and say the ball was snapped before the ready for play, so we'll do this play over. But again, this all could have been avoided if we had stayed on the ball and controlled this substitution mechanic. In this last example, let's have a look at a situation where the situation is handled well, the mechanic is handled well. The center judge stays on the ball, he controls the situation, right, looking for the referee, and right after the center judge is gone, the referee blows it in. So here we have both aspects of it. We've got good control on the ball, good control of the center, and we're making sure that the quarterback knows he can't snap the ball. Good focus on the referee, and then as soon as the referee is ready, we'll leave the ball, and here comes the ready for play. This is perfect handling of the mechanic. That was the training tape. I hope you found something we can use on the field.